Hey everybody, it's me, Crazy Frankie, and I'd like to welcome you to my Week 10 4 key game picks. It's unbelievable that we are now half the regular season is already over, and I know a lot of us are wondering who is going to make it past Week 17 to get into the playoffs. It's too early to tell right now, but it's slow. But I'm pretty sure in every conference and every division it's slowly starting to come together. But I'm not going to get into that. That's not the idea. A little quick thoughts on Week 9. Really was an okay week, but it wasn't that many good games. But obviously, I thought the best ones obviously came in the afternoon games. For example, the Packers-Chargers game, that actually was quite a game. The Chargers surprising me after they were trailing 20 points. I think it was 20 points in the fourth quarter. Made a game of it, scoring 2 touchdowns fast, but they just didn't have enough to beat the Packers. I knew the Packers had too much on offense and defense, and there was no way the Chargers were going to beat them. No way the Chargers were going to win that one. And how about the Giants beating the Patriots? Eli Manning scoring on their final drive in the fourth quarter. It was quite a game. Even though in the first half it was 0-0, but in the second half, boy, it was a great game. So give Eli Manning and the Giants a lot of props. And how about the Ravens? They sweep the season series with the Steelers. Are the Ravens a clear-cut favorite for the AFC North division crown? I don't know yet. Don't count out the Steelers. Or how about the Bengals? They have become the huge surprise this year, as they are 6-2 right now. So this will be quite an interesting 7 weeks left of the regular season to see who comes out of each division alive and who will be the 2 wild cards. So right now it's a little bit fuzzy, but it's starting to slowly come together as we head into the final weeks of the regular season. Anyways, enough about Week 9. Let's get into Week 10, shall we? Now, Week 10 has a lot of good games, and I wish I could get into a lot of them, but obviously, as my point of this video is supposed to be only 4 key games, and I see a lot of them as more than 4. But I'm going to just talk about only these games here. A little bit more detail on my Week 10 preview is going to be up on my blog. So let's get into the first key game. My first key game to watch for is the New York Giants San Francisco 49ers game. Anybody who has lived through the 80s and 90s, I mean, these two teams in the playoffs, they've had some classics. Who could forget the 1990 NFC Championship game, or how about the 2003 division wildcard game between those two teams? I mean, with both teams doing very well, with the Giants 7-2, yeah, 7-2, and the San Francisco 49ers 7-1. This game coming up is definitely going to have a playoff atmosphere, and it does bring back a lot of memories of all those classic playoff games they've had. But I'm going to slightly go with the San Francisco 49ers in this one. They are at home, and the 49ers running game is a bit better. Alex Smith will have to come up big passing against the Giants defense, and I also expect Giants quarterback Eli Manning to have another good game as he did last week against the Patriots. It's a tough one here, and probably could be the game of the week here in this one. But I'm going to slightly go with the 49ers. This game could go either way. This is definitely a toss-up here. I like the 49ers. They're going to continue. I like them at home. They're going to continue the momentum. And the Giants will probably pick up their 3rd loss here. So I got to go with the 49ers. It's a tough one to pick. Second key game, obviously going to the NFC South. It is the New Orleans Saints and Atlanta Falcons. This is the first meeting between these two teams, as the Saints had to deal with the Buccaneers first. Now they have to deal with the Falcons. Now the Falcons have started to play a lot better. Their running game is getting better. But don't count out Drew Brees and the Saints. I mean, I expect Drew Brees to have a big game here in the passing game. Their running game is still a question, but both teams are evenly matched here offensively. The game is in Atlanta. I mean, you could slightly say I probably might go with the Falcons here, but I'm not. I still think the Saints' offense is a tad better, but their defense is definitely going to have to come up big, because remember, the Falcons can score points pretty quickly. This is another hard game to pick here, but I'm going to slightly, like in the first pick, I'm going to slightly go with the New Orleans Saints here. I think Drew Brees' passing is going to be all over the Atlanta defense. Yeah, this is another tough one to pick here. I mean, this game can go either way. And that NFC South is a tough division right now. You got the Saints, Falcons, and Buccaneers all fighting for that division. So definitely, I got to go with the Saints. I think the Saints' offense is a tad better. I think they have a slight edge. I'm gonna say the Saints beat the Falcons. Third key game is the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I never would have thought this year that the Cincinnati Bengals would be on a roll. Give quarterback Andy Dalton a lot of credit. He has kept that team together, and he has really got them going. But this is a real test. That offense is going to have a real test against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, and the Steelers coming off a heartbreaking loss last week to the Baltimore Ravens. I like the Steelers in this one. I think they will win. Their offense is definitely going to get back on track. I just think the Bengals defense is not enough to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. I mean, you can say, well, this game is an evenly matched game too, but I don't know how Andy Dalton will do. I mean, this is his first real test against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. And I kind of see the Steelers winning this one. It might be a close game, might not be, but I think the Steelers have too much. And I don't think Andy Dalton's ready for this. I mean, he's won some very close games in a lot of big games this year, but I just think the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is a bit stronger, and they're going to be all over him. They're going to be all over Andy Dalton the entire game. So I got to go Steelers over the Bengals. Now for my upset pick for Week 10, this involves the Jaguars-Colts game. This is the Colts, I think, their best chance to pick up their first win of the regular season. Obviously, they're still in the hunt for the #1 pick, and I just don't think any team in the NFL is going to go 0-16. I think the Colts will barely edge out the Jaguars, and probably maybe the crappiest game of the week. I know this week has some other crappy games too, but I think the Colts will definitely pick up their first win. I don't see them going 0-16, maybe 0-1-15 maybe, but this is the Jaguars. Really, their quarterback really isn't that good. Their offensive line cannot protect the quarterback. Maurice Jones-Drew has began to fumble the ball this year, and Jaguars defense isn't that great at all. And I kind of see the Colts winning this one. I think this is where they'll pick up their first win of the regular season, as I'm going to say this is an upset here. I know you're probably saying that, how come this game you consider this an upset? Well, the Jaguars kind of are slight favored, but I just see the Colts not going 0-16. This is where they pick up their first win of the regular season. Well, there you have it, folks. This is my Week 10 4 key game picks. This week begins the NFL Thursday night games. Now, a lot of you are wondering, because I'm a Chargers fan, how come I didn't talk about that one as a key game pick? Well, it is. Like I said, there's a lot of good key games this week, but I'm only going to say 4. The Raiders-Chargers game is a key game, too, for the division lead. But I wouldn't count out the Broncos and Chiefs yet in that sorry AFC West division. But starting this weekend from now until the end of the regular season, now they're going to be Thursday night games. And like I said last week, I will not post up any recaps because it's too much for me to type, and with the holidays coming up and a lot of things going on in my life, I just don't have the time now to do much nowadays. But anyways, I thank you for watching this video, and I hope everybody enjoys Week 10. A lot of good games in Week 10 here, so it should be a good one on Sunday. And I will see you all next week. For now, take care.